Hello, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time seeing my face, then I'm so sorry for this unlucky day for you. But I wanted to do a ranking for the Sims 3 expansions and all of the custom worlds that came with the Sims 3. I really love the Sims 3, obviously, that's like the main game I play on my channel. And I wanted to do one of those rankings that I've seen many Simmers do before because it just looks super fun. I did create my own ranking tier name list, so we'll kind of go over that first. So this is the ranking from as follows, from best to worst: My Beloved, Leap into Arms, Would Watch the Stars With, Cold in the Middle, Blank thinks Blank is being boring, and I left what was originally there because how could I get rid of this? Katy Perry's Sweet Treats. Now, World Adventures, I'm currently doing a mini-series on my channel with that, and I've been having so much fun playing it again. There's so much adventure in it, and it's honestly kind of like a puzzle, which I love puzzles. So for me, I think I would put this in Leap into Arms. Next is Ambitions, and Ambitions, I'm going to say it's quite fun. I mean, the firefighter career was incredibly buggy. I had a mod that fixed it, and it was pretty cool. I don't really use the like home decorator career or the fashion one. And then there's other things like the inventor career though, and the traits that came with it. Like it came with the eccentric trait, which I use for all of my genius sims. I do have certain parts of this expansion that I absolutely do adore. I don't really like Twinbrook. It's not my favorite world per se. It's like pretty okay. But I'm going to say that I will probably put Ambitions in Would Watch the Stars With, because it's only the second expansion that came with The Sims 3, and honestly, it offered a lot. Late Night, My Beloved. Late Night, honestly, it introduced bands that you can play as. It introduced all the professional bars, all the different types of bars. Oh, and it gave you vampires, though they weren't super like fleshed out or anything. So I'm not really going to include the vampires in the part of this assessment, but still, My Beloved, it's a great expansion. I love Bridgeport. Bridgeport is such a beautiful world. Case closed. Generations. So Generations honestly added so much for family gameplay, and it added so many cute elements to the game itself, and just like the dress up box where they can play pretend, and you had like prom introduced where they would go to prom, and you get all like the little trinkets and the photos and all those things. Literally so dear to me. I will probably put it in My Beloved because I know it didn't come with the world, and maybe this is an unpopular opinion, I don't know, but that's the point. This is my opinion. That's why I'm doing this video. So next, pets. Honestly, My Beloved. The pets expansion added so much stuff to The Sims 3. Pet birds, even though such a small part of this expansion, genuinely is like one of my favorite parts of The Sims 3 pets. I'm not a horse girly, okay? But with The Sims 3 specifically, I found them to be so fun that I sometimes crave gameplay for playing as a horse girly. And I absolutely just think it's a beautiful world with all the trees it gave you for it. It gave such beautiful trees with foliage. Oh my gosh, my favorite. Showtime. I'm actually playing with Showtime right now in my current like personal save file, and I think I actually, before this video comes out, I'll have a current household where I'm playing with it, so check that out if you haven't already. But this is like my third time trying to pronounce the world that comes with this. For some reason I cannot say it in this video today. I actually really like Starlight Shores, there we go, and I was playing in it more and more and starting to like it. I used to not like it, but Starlight Shores is honestly really pretty, and the expansion itself, so like you have to be up for that kind of gameplay, right? But once you do, I actually noticed, at least with the Acrobat career, because I've been using it, the animations and detail that went into the Showtime expansion is actually, in my personal opinion, incredible. So just for that, even though it's not my like absolute cup of tea, I would still say that I would watch the stars with Showtime. I think it's actually a really decent expansion. It does get a lot of crap because they say that it could have came with Late Night for like the fame system and stuff, but I don't know. I still kind of think that it was on its own, it was still a great concept. Supernatural. What would I do without you? Honestly, I love supernaturals in The Sims 3 or just in The Sims, like, entire franchise. I love supernaturals, but in particular in The Sims 3 because they just did so much with them. And of course, the iconic. Now listen, I am not a don't come after me. I am not a super big Twilight fan. I'm sorry, but I appreciate all of the little, intricate details that were paying homages to that franchise. Okay, and it was funny. I respect that and I appreciate that. Now, the world itself, is it my favorite? Not really. I like other worlds besides Moonlight Falls. It's still a good world. It's not my favorite, but I do like the pre-mades that come with it. Because I love supernaturals and how they made most of the supernaturals in it. Fairies alone, oh my gosh, love them. Those Mishmish tricksters, love them so much. I'm going to put Supernatural in Leap Into Arms because I think it deserves at least a nice hug. Next is Seasons. What can I say about Seasons? Another expansion that came without a world, but did it need one really? Probably not, no, because we got so much with it. I love the festivals that came with it, and in particular, the season of autumn time, or fall as you would say in the game. It is so beautiful. If you have fall enabled in The Sims 3, the foliage that happens to trees, the way that they did the seasons throughout with like the snow, the different types of like the rain, the rainstorms, the lightning, it honestly, they did it so well in The Sims 3. I was so impressed. Like to this day, it looks beautiful. Like I can't, that just for that alone, it has to go at least in like the third tier. But with the festivals, because I love everything in the festivals. Can it seem repetitive? Sure, but like there's always different things to do. And like, depending on your Sims personalities, you might only have to do certain things at a time. So really, I would say for Seasons, I'm going to label this in Leap Into Arms. I could say My Beloved, but, there could have always been a little couple extra things added. Also, I love trick-or-treating, though it does get a bit glitchy sometimes. So for that reason also, I'm putting it in the category of Leap Into Arms. Next, University. What would I say about University? Okay, I actually do love University. And I do want to rate this fairly though, because based off of everything, I do think it was a good idea for them to make a separate world where they travel to, like how they do, let's say with the World Adventures. There were some things I thought could have been done a little bit better in it, but overall, I did love how you had the different kinds of parties, how they can get juiced. They can do like juice pong, ping pong. They can go streaking. If you were part of the groups, some people don't like the groups, like the rebel, nerd, and jock groups, but I think they're really cool. And I know it sometimes can be annoying to have to like unlock certain interactions by being a part of these influential groups, but I found like they were kind of fun. So overall, I think it's a good pack. So I think I'm going to put Would Watch the Stars with. I don't always use University, which is why I'm not going to put it higher because it's not like an essential pack in terms of every save file that I ever use. Island Paradise. Oh, I have a love-hate with Island Paradise. I love it more than I do hate it. I don't ever really hate it. The world of Isla Paradiso. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, okay? They had a vision and they did it. Now, it was absolutely unusable for me when I had it and I used my non-PC that I have now and without any fixes existing at that as we have now. Absolutely unplayable world. The only gripe I really had besides that, the whole world not functioning that great put aside, was the lack of detail in the resort system. I like that you have resorts and that you can either be a guest or you could be an owner of it. There wasn't too much customizability in terms of being the owner when it came to like certain things with who you hire, or I don't know, like maybe dress codes or just like other little intricate details or something. I wish there had been like a bit more intricateness with that, but I understand they didn't have that much more they could probably do because they did so much with the pack. All the boating activities, everything with the islands, scuba diving. Scuba diving is one of my favorite parts of The Sims 3 period. That's it. Would I do that in real life? Never, but I absolutely adore it in The Sims 3, okay? And it has my heart. So for that reason alone, I cannot make it lower than Leap Into Arms. And that's where it's staying. Next, and the last expansion that The Sims 3 released, Into the Future. This has many mixed reviews, and I understand why. It was honestly, it was something fun and different to do as, like, I guess an ending to the Sims 3 series, and I do still like this expansion, but I don't use it often. The train system, I think it's so cool, like the floating train. I think that's one of the coolest, like, transportation modes they ever made in the Sims 3, or like the Sims ever made in general, like in the franchise. And just like the different like little, I guess, like storylines you could do with it, and the cool like advanced technology skill with like the hoverboard and like the jetpack, and you can do cool animations with other Sims if you have certain skill level with the jetpack. It's really cool. There's so many different things that you honestly can explore with that expansion, even though I never use it as much as I use other expansions. So for that reason, I'm going to put the first cold in the middle. It hurts. It really hurts. I'm being serious because I love The Sims 3 and the details that went into it with every pack. But compared to the others, Into the Future, just, it can't compare, really. We do have a couple of stuff packs here. Let's just get this out of the way, okay? I don't even own Katy Perry Sweet Treats, and I never will because they don't have it anymore. You cannot buy it except for maybe a disc at like a thrift shop. So I will never own that expansion. I've seen many reviews of it. Honestly, some stuff is very cute, but because it has its own tier, I have to put it in Katy Perry Sweet Treats because it literally is the title. So we're just gonna go with that. Now, let's start off here with High and Loft stuff. I actually really like High and Loft stuff, and I use quite a bit of stuff from it. High and Loft stuff had a bit more of like fancy living stuff. It had stuff that, like it says, high and loft. So I do quite like it. I would say, cold in the middle. It's decent. It's pretty good. Fast lane stuff. I'm trying to think. Fast lane, honestly, I use fast lane quite a bit now that I think about it. I actually use it quite a bit. So I think I honestly would put this in Would Watch the Stars with, just for the cars that it gave you. It gave you quite a bit of cars that were like vintage cars that were like collectibles, and I really like that. Outdoor living stuff. Honestly, outdoor living, I'm trying to think of everything that comes with it. It had a really nice like barbecue set. It had some really cute stuff that came with it. Again, nothing new per se, but it's still usable objects. But for that outdoor like barbecue set, like kitchen set alone, I would probably say Leap into Arms. Maybe an unpopular opinion, but it's a really nice set. So we're going to go with that. Town life. Town life stuff, I think it did come with a couple of things. So I honestly think I would watch the stars with town life stuff. Is that a bit too much? I don't know. Master Suite stuff. This one's a little tricky because it came with a lot of Create a Sim stuff, and typically I don't really care about Create a Sim. I never really have, because when I use so much custom content, I'm like that with all of the Sims games in the franchise because I mostly use CC. But this stuff pack, I actually is like when it comes to the clothing that came with it, I actually use it the most out of all the stuff packs because it had really cute pajama sets. Honestly, I think I would watch the stars with Master Suite stuff. And it also came with a really nice bedroom and bathroom set. Diesel stuff. This one's tricky. I actually got this one recently. I hadn't had this until this year of 2024. I got it on like CD Keys or something for like $2. And it's a pretty decent pack. It has some pretty decent jeans. I will say that. The tops are a different story. They're okay. But when it comes to the jeans, they're pretty decent. And it actually had a bit more like contemporary furniture. Some of it actually looks a bit alpha, which is interesting. Like it looks a bit like CC, the texture of it, maybe because they partnered with Diesel. I'm not really sure, but for me, even though it's pretty decent, but it's not anything like revolutionary, so I'm going to put it in cold in the middle. 70s, 80s, and 90s stuff. Now, this was a fun little stuff pack. I actually really like this stuff pack, and I do use it quite a bit. Like, there's some cute things that came with it. I'll probably do, like, Would Watch the Stars with, because it's a pretty decent stuff pack. And we're on the last stuff pack, movie stuff. I also recently got this. I think it was this year or last year. And, I don't use it that often. I'm honestly going to say Okay, no one hate me. It's not the content itself, it's the usability of the content, because some of it's really cool, but I almost never use any of the stuff from it. Almost never, except for the porta potty it gave you because it looks like an outdoor porta potty. Besides that, that's like the most I use from that stuff pack. I'm gonna have to put in blank things. Blank is boring. Last category that we'll be ranking in this video is going to be the worlds from the store that came with The Sims 3. Now, I have every world except for Lunar Lakes. So I don't know if I really should even rate that one, but I guess I could based off of how I've seen other people review it and play with it, because I do know pretty much everything that comes with it. I just haven't played with it myself. So we'll see how that goes. But Riverview. I actually really adore Riverview. I think it is a really nice world, and it was free, mind you. I think it's a pretty good world, especially for being like a base game only world. So for that reason, I'm going to categorize this in Leap into Arms, because it deserves a nice hug. Barnacle Bay. Katy Perry's Sweet Treats. I don't even care. Don't fight me on this. I don't care. Judge me all you want. That is one of the worst worlds they ever released. Boring, both in terms of look and play. There is nothing new to do in it, and it costs money. It wasn't free. It cost you sim points to get it. And on top of that, it didn't add any new gameplay to it like the other worlds that we had to pay for offered. It only gave you new rabbit holes, which, yeah, okay, sure, a crew, like a pirate ship as a diner. Cool, I guess. Should we have to pay for that? I don't think so. I don't think so. Hidden Springs. This one is a pretty decent world. It's very pretty. I do really like it, and they added in sort of like, I don't know if they're meant to be aliens or like nature sort of creatures, but there's a lore in that world, which is different than like really any other like basic Sims 3 store world, because a lot of them were meant to be like mystical creatures, hidden springs. So it's a perfect world, honestly, for fairies too, in my opinion. And it came with, I think, it's not the wishing well, it is the little pond spring thing where the fountain of youth. That's it. It came with the little fountain of youth. And I do use that sometimes. It's a cute little object, and it has some nice builds in it. And again, the world is really pretty. So for that reason, I think I would put this in, I don't use it that much. So I'll probably use it here. Would watch the stars with. Now here we are with Lunar Lakes. Okay, so Lunar Lakes, it's pretty cool. It gave you that like crystal tree of prosperity from what I've seen, like gameplay wise. I do know about the world and like what it came with. I know everything about like what it looks like, the lore and stuff like that. It's honestly one of the main reasons why I don't have it is because it doesn't seem fun, and it doesn't seem that pretty. It's like they tried to experiment with like weird architecture. It's supposed to be futuristic, but we have Into the Future, and it's like I don't need it, you know what I mean? So for that reason, I'm going to put this in I'll probably say cold in the middle, because it did come with that tree of prosperity thing, which is still pretty cool, but other than that, it's kind of meh. Lucky Palms. Lucky Palms is honestly such a beautiful world, and it's really the only desert world that we have in the game, besides literally like the Egypt country world that we get with the World Adventures expansion. So honestly, I don't know. I've only played in it really a couple of times. I did a video on it recently where I played in it for like really the first time getting to explore it. I would probably put this in Leap into Arms, because it's a really pretty world, and it was before we had like houseboats, and they gave you the illusion of a houseboat. Sunlit Tides. Oh my gosh. Sunlit Tides is so beautiful. I know that it was like maybe one of the first 3 like worlds that they made on the store, but the detail that went into that world, it was so beautiful. The volcano, like criminal lair, so cool. The routing in it is kind of bad. Again, the Sims team wasn't really known for great routing always, but that world in particular in the water, some of the routing was like pretty not good. So, but the world itself is so beautiful, and the buildings are beautiful, and so were the rabbit holes, and I loved like the Sims that they had. I don't care, okay, putting the routing issues aside, because it's still playable, I'm gonna put in My Beloved. I'm sorry, it's cute, and it came with, actually, again, this is one of the worlds that started to come with an object that was like a new gameplay item. So I think it came with the spa thing. So it wasn't the massage table, that was a separate thing, I think, unless you got like the gold version. The standard version, it came with like that like spa tub, which was honestly really cool, and I use it pretty often. Monte Vista, I mean, listen, as an Italian woman, but Monte Vista honestly was really, really pretty. That world was honestly one of the biggest worlds they released on the store, and in my opinion, it's beautiful. Like the way they did the town square thing on the top, and then they have the hillside everywhere, and it came with like the little pizza oven, and you can make all of these really cool like Italian, quote unquote, like Italian recipes. And I love having different recipes in the game, and I always use them when I have like the little restaurants from like the bistro set. And let's not forget one of the best parts of that world, James Jaden, the townie they made, okay, the pre-made sim. I use him. He's a blueprint, okay, that I use for half of the guy sims that I make in my game, okay. I have him saved to my bin. I really like it, so I'm gonna say Monte Vista, My Beloved. Aurora Skies. Now, this one, honestly, okay, I think this one is honestly really beautiful, but the houses alone, like the style of the architecture, was completely different from any type we've ever really gotten before. And I actually really like the hot air balloon that came with it. Was it slightly a letdown that you couldn't fully travel, like seeing them float in the sky with it? Yes, but I understand why, because it probably would make everybody's game crash, knowing the state of like the Sims 3's optimization and stuff like that. But the gameplay that comes with it, the storytelling, the new way to propose, it was like really the only world I can think of that had like snow kind of imprinted in the background of it. Truly, I think it was such a beautiful world, and I've played in it multiple times. Honestly, it's really good. I'm gonna say Leap into Arms. Dragon Valley, honestly, it gave you the tiny little dragons. Could they have been better, the little dragons? Absolutely they could. And is it kind of a cheat with your needs, which annoys me? Yes, but I don't care, because they're so cute, and there's different like colored dragons with different purposes, and I just like being able to find like little dragon eggs around the world. It's a world that is so perfect for medieval gameplay. Like if you don't want to get a custom world made by like another simmer, and you wanted something that was by the Sims team, like just from the store, Dragon Valley is it. And I think it's a beautiful world. I love the rabbit holes that come with it too. It is just so different from what they usually did. For that reason, because I use it sometimes for like medieval gameplay and stuff, it's going in My Beloved. I don't care. I love it. Midnight Hollow. No questions asked, My Beloved. My Beloved Midnight Hollow. I don't even have the gold version, so I don't have like the full store. I do have the Savvy Seller collection set where you can use it to create a store, and I have like the toy making machine, which I think is really cute. Yeah, it's such a completely different world, so creepy, such cool like background stories and lore for all the Sims. Like we had ghosts as the Sims for it. Like how cool was that? Nothing compares to Midnight Hollow. Nothing does. Roaring Heights, My Beloved. No questions asked. Sorry. There's no questions asked, literally. Roaring 20s. Car Fixer Upper. They brought it back, but in like a vintage car. So I use it literally all the time. Literally in my current household, like my personal save file, they have a Fixer Upper car. It's periwinkle. I love it. And just all the fashion that came with it. Like the, what is it, like the finger wave curls, the different like short and longer hairs. The one thing I don't like about it is literally just the library. The library shell is, whoever did it despised making it. But other than that, My Beloved Roaring Heights. Love you. Mwah. And that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this. This was honestly kind of fun. It was nice to kind of just like think back on all the packs and like what they offer and like how they make me feel like when I'm playing with these different things. And it kind of makes me appreciate them all the more, because some of them are just, I love them. Like some of it was just so good. You can't deny. Some things about The Sims 3 were truly just magical, and you can't beat it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to hit like on this video if you like this, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps out my channel. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next video. But you probably won't see me in the next video because I don't always use my camera. So this was a little unfortunate treat, I suppose. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you have a good one, and take care. Bye.